from Lenexa to Lee Summit. You're listening to Mundo in the Morning on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
1 week ago tonight that 4 candidates stepped on the stage at Johnson County Community College to make their case for why they should be the next governor of Kansas. And we've had all the candidates on this week. We are now happy to welcome on and say good morning to the Senate President, Ty Masterson, here on KCMO Talk Radio. Ty, great to have you on the show as always. Let's just rewind it to 1 week ago tonight. How do you feel like it went for you on that debate stage?
Hey, good morning, Pete. They went okay. Debates, I don't know the value of some of them because you really can't win them. You just don't do something dumb and lose them. Right? I thought it went just fine. It was exactly what I expected it to be.
Well, listen, I know it was controversial as to whether or not you were going to be there. You did show up, and, you took some shots from some of your opponents. You also gave it back. So when you're going into these debates and you have the Trump endorsement, as you noted, what is the end goal for you going into a moment like that on a Friday night at Johnson County Community College?
Yeah, well, the end goal there on a televised debate really isn't speaking to the 100 people there in the room or even to Johnson County. Try to create the clips because 95% of the people that experience something out of that debate are going to get it through a media clip or something. So we were just trying to make sure we had clips in place that could kind of get the message out.
Well, that is something that I alluded to last week. It's really about the people that see it after the fact, not the people there or the people locked in that night. So people were saying, hey, every answer that Ty gave was like talking about how he got the Trump endorsement. I said on Monday, that's kind of the point of the whole thing, to use those to then clip them after the fact for commercials or radio ads or whatever it might be. So is that how you viewed it going into it? Because I thought that was strategically the play and the right thing to do, even if someone watching it in real time thought you were leaning into that too much.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head. That was 100% the goal of the evening. Try to get that message out because that means a lot to people and, not have some big gaffe.
So what's the thing then when people say, okay, Ty Masterson's got the Trump endorsement, but what else? Like, what is the thing that is going to define this campaign on the issues for Ty Masterson? What do you want that to be?
Well, we have to go after the property tax crisis. We have to fix the education crisis. I really want the message now to be unity. The problem we have with Republicans is we sit around in primaries, beat each other up, make it hard in the general. The Democrats, that's the party of open borders, mail-in elections, permanent high energy costs, and fraud, right? That's the group we have to go after to win. So I'd like to see us working together in unity.
So does that mean that you will not be taking swipes at your primary opponents the next few weeks?
I don't know if people caught it or not. I didn't initiate anything in that debate. I have not. I've been trying to intentionally not attack any of my Republican friends. There's only one of them that I feel open lane to do that with, and that's Vicki Schmidt, because her record on fundamental things like life and Second Amendment are awful, and I want that's the focus to be. That's the problem we have in Kansas with Republicans is we'll agree on 95% of things, maybe 98, and then we'll condemn each other over 2% disagreement of an issue that's not even fundamental. But yeah, I'm working for a unity message.
Is that really unique to Kansas, though, Ty? Because, we just saw Texas, we saw Iowa. Is that really unique to Kansas, though?
Well, the effect's not unique, but what's unique here is we seem to kill ourselves every other cycle, right? What's unique to Kansas, we go back Democrat, Republican in the governor's office for 70 years, and we have to break that cycle.
Yeah, that's true. Ty Masterson's joining us on KCMO. Of course, the Senate president. He's got the Trump endorsement, and he wants to be the next governor. What about the KFL, Kansans for Life endorsement? We have not spoken since that came down. I think that was last Friday morning when that news dropped. The importance of that endorsement for you is what?
Well, I'm deeply honored to have that. I appreciate that endorsement and honored to have just as much as I am the Trump endorsement. Those are people that, are active in politics and it's fundamental. And to get the Soul endorsement was huge. But I have a record. I've been in the life movement since 1991 in the Summer of Mercy down in Wichita. And so that's been a fundamental issue for me. If I've led on that charge for my entire time working for the Kansas people.
When we talk about property taxes, listen, we've talked about it plenty on this show. You and I have had the conversation. I'm sure you're hearing about it all over the state. Is there anything that's come out following that debate last week or any other nuanced policy conversations that you've had with people in recent weeks where you say to yourself, day one as governor, I know you got to get something passed and get it to your desk, but this is the first thing that needs to happen to really start that property tax relief process in Kansas? What is it?
Yeah, we have to have limits. Because that's, since all the spending is local on property tax, the state has to put a structure in place. That creates limits that they can't go beyond without the voice of the people. And we're going to try to do that day one. That's honestly why the president endorsed me. They did their due diligence on me, and they know that after that election, Trump's only in office for 2 years after that, and they wanted somebody that was battle tested like the president and could deliver things day one.
What's the pushback that you give to people when they say, well, Ty, are you the career politician in this race as the guy who's been in elected office for the longest period of time? What's your response when people say that?
That they don't understand the way Kansas politics work. We're a citizen legislature. I'm a career fighter. And you can just see it in my record. Go pick your issue. Go look at it's something, we've been battling these liberal Democrats in the governor's office 16 of the last 24 years. And it's a slog, right? I mean, you're in there. It's not a career. You can't make money at it. You don't make a living. And so you give up time with your family and time with others to get in there and fight. And that's what I've been doing for several years now.
Ty Masterson is joining us on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. The local spending, you've talked a lot about that, whether it's tied to, the lack of property tax relief, let's say in a place like Wyandotte County in the wake of the Legends deal and some of the other Star Bond projects we've talked about, or here in Johnson County. How much responsibility is it for this state party, and if you're the governor, you'll obviously be the face of the state party, to help out with some of these local elections and get good Republicans, not necessarily elected, but even on the ballot, because that's a problem right now in Johnson and Wyandotte County. How much do you see that being part of the role as the potential future face of the party in Kansas?
Well, I definitely think there's a role because it's a huge problem, and that's my largest frustration. We don't participate enough in those local elections, so you put these big spenders in these local offices that drive up the spending and the local property tax. I mean, it's not like there's not enough money there. Mm-hmm. And then we have to put limits on them. I've come to believe you really have to choke government down, right? Because even my experience, I put really good conservative people on my appropriations committee, and there wasn't a single one of them that didn't add something to the budget that was important to them. And so in consensus politics, you do everybody's thing. You have to make the decision hard. You have to pull down the revenue that's available. So they have to decide, between this and that, not say we're going to take this and that. It's just you have to push it. You have to have that downward push.
Ty Masterson's here on KCMO. Last thing on the education front here in the final minute. We know the mess that some of these schools have become with the spending and some of the other issues that they've faced. Is there a major education overhaul that you would want to see this state attack if you're the next governor?
I do. And I think the main thing in the public system, we have to have a real push on literacy. We need to look at what Mississippi's done. They went from the bottom, like 49th in the nation, up to the top 10, and they're really putting a push on literacy between 3rd and 4th grade. And I'm very interested in that because if we don't teach our kids to read, they can't read to learn, and you're seeing that effect in our system.
Well, that's true. Ty Masterson on KCMO. Ty, thank you so much for being here. Always appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you soon. Good luck on the campaign trail.
Thanks, Pete. Have a great weekend.
You as well. Ty Masterson on 95.7 FM.